Today is March 29th, and we are going to be making a traditional Easter babka, sometimes called a Russian Easter bread. This is a recipe from my grandmother, so it's probably more of a Polish version, but anyway, we always called it a babka. This is 2.5 cups of sifted all-purpose flour. This is a 1/4 pound of unsalted butter, and I've left it out to soften. I'm going to sprinkle the yeast over the warm water. Get the yeast going. Okay, we put the 1 cup of milk in a saucepan, and we're going to scald it. Okay, the milk is just starting to bubble around the edges, and it's forming a skin. So we can turn that off and let that cool down. We have to let the scalded milk cool down, of course, because if we mixed it in with the flour and yeast when it's warm, it would just kill the yeast. Now the scalded milk has cooled off, and now we'll take the skin off. Why it's a good idea to start with a little more than 1 cup of milk, because you're going to lose a little bit in that skin, and when you remove the skin. Okay, there's the second egg yolk. Okay, we've got a large mixing bowl there, and we're going to put in the 2 whole eggs and the 2 yolks. And we're going to put in the yeast mixture, which is puffed up nicely. Tablespoon of sugar. Teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to start blending that on a low speed. Just looking for a smooth mixture there. Okay, we've added the eggs, tablespoon of sugar and vanilla, and now we are going to add the scalded milk. Okay, we're mixing the scalded milk with the yeast mixture with the eggs and a tablespoon of sugar and vanilla. And it looks like we're blended, so now we're going to add half the flour, and we're going to move the speed up to medium. Well, that looks pretty smooth also, so now we'll put in the rest of the flour. It's a little messy. The dough has come together and it's very sticky. That's the way it's supposed to look. And you don't want to add any additional flours. It's supposed to be sticky. Actually, it should just kind of slowly ooze off the heater. And I find the paddle type mixing blade better than the dough hook. See, it needs a lot of beating. Okay. This has been about 10 minutes now. Put a piece of clear plastic wrap over the top oiled surface of the dough. Okay, for the first rise, we're going to put the dough into a cool oven along with a pan of hot water. About 3/4 of a cup of golden raisins. That's the important fruit ingredient. I also have added a little bit of candied pineapple and some sour cherries. Don't ask me why I put the sour cherries in. Anyway, we are going to blanch them in boiling water to rehydrate them. Okay, that's about a cup of fruit, maybe a little more. And we're going to toss them with a little bit of flour. Now we're going to prepare one large bundt pan. We're going to butter it. And flour it. The dough has more than doubled, so now we're going to transfer it back to the mixing bowl. The dough is back in the mixing bowl and beating on low, and now we're going to add the butter and sugar. A half a cup of sugar or a little more. And the softened 1/4 pound of butter. Okay, we're going to increase We're going to turn the mixer up to medium. Now it's been beating on medium for about 5 minutes. Pretty close. Turned it down to low, and now I'm going to sprinkle in the fruit, and it may or may not incorporate. May have to finish up by hand. This is probably one thing that a dough hook might work better for, but you can always. Okay, now it goes back into the oven. The oven is still off for the second rise. And the pan of hot water is still in there, and now that the dough is not covered with saran wrap, it'll probably be more important to be in there. So we'll let that rise till it doubles, which is probably half hour to an hour. Well, it's been just over an hour, and it looks like it's risen nicely. It's about 3/4 of an inch down from the top of the pan. Time to take the water pan out and turn the oven on to 340. Well, it's been baking for about 45 to 50 minutes. Test it with a steel skewer. And it comes out clean. I think it's done. We will let it cool for a few minutes before we invert it onto a kitchen towel on top of a soft pillow. Okay, I've prepared a landing platform for the babka here. There's the pillow with some plastic wrap on it, and I'm putting a clean kitchen towel on top of that. I ran a knife around the center of the front pan to free it there, and now we're going to carefully invert it. It came right out. That's a good thing.